entries here for me to take just yet.
Um, let's see. All right, give me a second here. All right, good morning, guys. It's Wednesday, January 29th. So taking a look at the entries, as I mentioned yesterday, most of this or this live sessions, probably we won't be getting a lot of live entries, ideally because of the the strategy, the SAR strategy that I demoed yesterday. But based off of yesterday, there were two trades that came up, and one is for gold. So I'll go over, I'll delete this one. So for gold, this morning there was this trade in the morning that came up. Unfortunately, it didn't get tagged in. So if I replay this and I was looking to take it, I think it came up at 3 a.m. in the morning. 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this one was a nice trade here. So we had creation of this level right here. So we had this two SARs right here. And again, this is on the hourly time frame. So price rejected on this candle and closed below. So that's confluence number one. Confluence number two, what zone was it in? It was in a red zone. So that targeted confluence number two. Confluence number three, what order blocks were around the entry? We had a bearish order block. So this was pretty much an A plus setup. So I'd already created a pending order here, and I'm rounding off to the nearest big number. So this would have given you like a $4 stop loss on gold. So this one would have been something similar to this right here. Unfortunately, price did not tag the trade in. So this would have been a nice trade. But anyway, price did not tag that area. So similar to what I went over yesterday, if price goes in your direction before getting tagged in and goes pretty much either close to TP, you just go ahead and delete that. So this pending order is still possible. However, if you look at where price is at this 4-hour bullish order block, and you can see how price has rejected from it. We had a closure below, which is ideally a fake out, and then a closure back up, and you can see the current hourly candle has picked up liquidity from that 4-hour bullish high. So as much as this pending order would still be valid, I would not, that's why I ended up deleting my pending order for this gold trade, because Price had already gone. I should have gotten tagged in, or price should have tagged us in this candle right here, but price did not come back to retest where the pending order is. So as much as this SAR level is still valid, I would not take it. And given where gold is at, based off of price action, I think gold is gonna come and blow past this 2766 area. So at this point, just going back and looking for another entry. There was another entry right here for a buy. So again, if I do go ahead and replay this, there was another entry for a buy. However, I was looking to take it, but it only met two confluences. So this confluence number one, it rejected and closed above this level. Confluence number two, yes, it was in a green zone. However, with confluence number three, since I was looking for a buy here, confluence number three is to ask yourself, are there any order blocks that are against the direction you're trading? And for this one, the answer, actually, this one would have given you a $5 stop loss and $5 TP. So here you ask yourself, is there any order block against the direction you're trading? And the answer is yes. Right above our entry, there's this 4-hour bearish low order block right here. So if we did not have this 4-hour bearish low order block, I would have taken this buy on gold. However, it's not a trade I would have taken. And you can see even with a $5 stop loss, if I would have taken this trade, I would have ended up getting stopped out and price would have just come back up. So again, that's the importance of using all three confluences. And based off of where price is at right now, there's nothing for gold, no potential entry on gold, unless gold comes back to this 2752 area or 2748 area, or comes all the way back up here. But I don't see any entry on gold on the live session. For US 30, here, same thing. There was an entry for a buy on US 30. The only, however, it does not satisfy confluence number three, because yes, we did have this rejection right here. You would have gotten like maybe 100-point stop loss, 100-point TP. Only red flag for this trade because it satisfied the first candle that interacted with this SAR level that's down here. It rejected and closed above, and then you'd set your pending order here. And we were in a green zone. So if I go ahead and replay this as well for this particular trade, we were in a green zone. The only issue with this trade, similar to that gold trade, is that we had actually this one too for the third confluence, or the second confluence, we had an overlap of green and red zones. So that kind of shows you price would either be ranging or you'd be subject to a fake out. So again, for this particular trade, it only satisfied confluence number one. But again, this is just to show you that as much as even C plus setups can win, right? So as much as we had an overlap, the entry would have been in a green zone. And again, confluence number three, we had this daily bearish low order block. So again, it did not satisfy all three confluences. It only satisfied two confluences. However, even with some of these C setups or even D setups, you can see this one would have won. However, for me, I'm only looking to take A plus setups and only setups that satisfy all three requirements. But just keep in mind, A plus setups also lose. You can have a D setup that wins, so you just have to know your level of risk. So right now, looking at that rejection, SCR rejection entry, there's no entry on the hourly time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, there's none as well. We do have one on gold here, but I think it already actually none on gold. Because this level was never tested if I zoom in. So nothing on gold for the 4-hour. For BTC, there's a sell here on BTC on the 4-hour time frame. However, that is at 103,655. But again, I only trade the 1-hour time frame. I'm not looking to trade any other time frame other than the 1-hour. So for me, there's a sell here pending, because this satisfies all three requirements right here. So here there would be a pending sell order on BTC at 103,642. It satisfies rejection from this candle. We're in a red zone. We have a bearish order block right above where our entry is. And this one would give you like a $2,000 stop loss. So something like this. So I'll just save this and just monitor it. But for me, I just trade the 1 hour time frame primarily. Nothing on the daily. 15, I don't trade anything for the 15 minute or 30 minute as well. So right now, what I'll do, I'll just shift over to the trend line and SAR rejection and see if there is any entries for those. But yeah, so this live sessions may either be pretty short, and I'll just be going over any trades that come up. So what I'll just do, I will share, I'll share the other screen that has the trend line and SAR strategy. Let's see, I think it's this screen right here. All right, so for the trend line and SAR strategy, let me turn off the zones for now just to clear things out. So trendline and SAR strategy, I don't see anything for a buy. So remember, for the trendline and SAR strategy, we are looking for price for a candle to reject off of the trendline and close above or below an SAR. Wait for that SAR line to be retested, and then you enter on that trade. So for US 30, I don't see anything for a buy on the 15-minute and 30-minute. So most of the times we'll probably be getting this entries on the 15-minute and 30-minute on the live session because they are lower time frames than the hourly one, which I use for the other entry. So nothing for gold, nothing for a buy as well. Price is closer to resistance. So actually here there was an entry on gold. Actually, there's an entry on gold right now for a sell. But so it satisfies. Uh, so gold here, it satisfies. We have a rejection resistance right here. However, we need to see if we are in a red or green zone. If I turn on the zones indicator, we're in a green zone. So it doesn't satisfy the second confluence. So it satisfies confluence 1 and confluence 3. Confluence 3 is that we are in a bearish order block. So you can see here we have a 4-hour bearish high, and then we have the low of that bearish order block. Only red flag for this trade is we have demand zone. But if we had a red zone, this would be the trade right here. So this would be, actually, it would have triggered on this previous candle. So it would have triggered at market open. So this would have been something like this. That's if we did not have any red flags. So this would have given you like a $5 stop loss. However, it does not satisfy confluence number 2. For BTC, nothing for a buy. We have rejection of support, but we have no SAR lines that are anywhere near here. Same thing on the 30-minute time frame, no buys. For sales price, so for BTC, price is closer to the support line, our support trend line. So of course, nothing for sales as well. On the hourly time frame, if this, let me see. If this hourly candle on gold closes, it would be, no, we're still in a supply zone on that. So, because if this candle closes, it will be a rejection of support. And I was hoping that this would be a buy. However, if you look at this, if you look at the zones, we're in a supply zone for gold. So that wouldn't be a buy on gold as well. On the 4-hour time frame, nothing for a sell. Wait, is this? No, actually, yeah, 4 hours time frame, nothing for a buy or nothing for a sell as well. Price is in between all trend lines. On the daily time frame, nothing as well for any of those instruments. So I think maybe the only possible entry on gold might be even for gold here. Let's see. If this candle closes as a bearish candle, we'll have a rejection of resistance and we might get this particular trade here. which would be maybe something like this, a $5 stop loss, $5 TP. Only if this candle closes in the next 10 minutes, we'll most likely get a rejection resistance right there. Let's see. Yeah, so I think in the only trade might get today is this potential sell on BTC. Other than that, I think so. I'll stay on for maybe 30 or so more minutes and see if there is any other entry that might come up. Let's see. And for this particular one, so let me draw up some markups here. So for the new layout. All right. So for the trend line and SAR rejection entry, what you're ideally looking for is something like this. So you're looking for, so this would be resistance. And you would be looking for, so you'd be looking for a candle that resistance line and this one. And then and this is for sales. So, and then the other one you'd be looking for is an SAR line, like something like that. So this one would be like a sell SAR. And ideally, you would want to enter on the retests. So this would be here. And as always, right, you need to make sure all three confluences align. Right. So ideally right now, all we have to do is wait and see if we get this. So that's the pattern we're looking for. So this is the pattern I'm looking for here. So currently it's satisfied. If it satisfies confluence number one, it would be a rejection. Confluence number two, are we in a red zone or green zone? We're in a red zone. Confluence number three would be, are there any order blocks close to the entry that are against the direction we are trading. So no, the nearest order block that's against our entry is like 80% of our TP. So that would be a trade I would be willing to take. So I would say it's something like a setup as opposed to A plus setup. Ideally because we have an opposing order block within the on the way to TP. So I think if today I do take any trade on the live session, it's just going to be this gold trade right here. But we have like 4 more minutes to see how this one will close. So about 3 more minutes for this one. However, if this zone turns into a green zone, so ideally like a demand zone, I would not be taking that trade. And I think that would be it for today. So today, this is the only thing that I can see, or the only trade I do see setting up. If we did have a green SAR here on BTC, I like this wicks to the downside on BTC. It does look like it's in an uptrend. So if we had like a green SAR here, this would have been a nice buy for BTC, but there's no entry for a buy on BTC. So we'll just stick to this gold entry right here, or possible gold trade. And if it comes up, it comes up. If it doesn't, then we'll just have to wait for another day for that one. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it did close with a rejection resistance. So it rejected against that upper trend line. BTC rejection support 30, BTC. BTC rejection support 1 hour. No. Gold. Okay. So there's this gold entry right there. Still in a red zone. Okay, so for this gold entry, if we look at what's going on here, so key thing, when I talk about opposing order blocks in the direction of your trade, if we look at what's happening here around the 4-hour bullish order block, this 4-hour bullish high here, you can see that this area has created an area of support or an area of demand, right? And this pattern right here is similar. What is it called? Consolidation. So this consolidating phase, manipulation phase, which is right here, and then distribution, right? So I think that's like an ICT strategy. So seeing that pattern right there. So when we have previously we had that consolidation, price was manipulated to the downside, closed back up. And where did it close above? It closed above the 4-hour bullish high, and price is rejecting from that 4-hour bullish high where we know there's already this demand right here. So even seeing that, stepping back and seeing that, this is not a trade even for the sell. It is a valid sell. It takes all three confluences. However, when you need to look at the price action of the order blocks and what's happening above that order block. And the other part that I normally mention to you guys, and I mentioned yesterday, if price has gone so far, if you're not tapped in, because for if since I was waiting for a sell here, ideally what I'm looking for is price to come up first and get me and then come back down. But currently price has gone about 50% of the TP, right? So is it a trade I'm willing to take to wait for price to come back up? Because if price comes back up right now, guess what it would do? It would be picking up all that demand, all that demand that we see here in this green zone right here. Then it would close above the 4-hour bullish high, and price would end up shooting to the upside. So seeing all of that, this is not a sell that I am willing to take. So this one would ideally just it is a valid sell for anybody who's has any confluences. It's pretty nice, especially because of this wicks from the upside. But if you look at what's happening here around this 4-hour bullish high, the high of this 4-hour order block, it kind of shows that price is possibly coming to the upside. And you have that, what I mentioned, consolidation, manipulation, and then distribution of price. So knowing that it's not a trade I am willing to take for gold. So at this point, I'll just wait till later on in the day and see if maybe I can get a if price comes all the like for example here, right? On this 15-minute time frame for a buy, if price comes down here and rejects off of any of these SARs right here, then I would look to enter a buy and ride price back up. But for right now, I'm not willing to take any buy for gold. I'm not willing to take any sell, especially looking at what's happening here. For BTC, nothing as well that catches my eye for either a buy or sell. Same thing for the hourly time frames. So I'll just go back to the other chart, and then I think that will be the end of today's live session. So I'll just go back to see the other rejection entry and see if there are any other entries that can line up for that one. So wait, this is US 30. All right. So again, reanalyzing the rejection entries on the hourly. Nothing here for US 30. Price already would have anyway, for the US 30 trade, that entry did not meet three confluences. However, price would have won even with a C setup. For gold, I would only be looking to take a buy somewhere around here, 27.52, 27.48. If I get an hourly candle that closes or rejects off of any of these two areas and closes above, and we're in a green zone. So the only zone here that's in a green zone is this 27.52 zone. 27.48 is in no man's land. So there's neither supply nor demand. So it increases chances of manipulation. The other thing too for this 27.52 zone, like I mentioned to you guys yesterday, you ask yourself, where's the nearest order block that's in the direction that you're trading? Is it within your TP or stop loss? So here, if I were to take this trade, even with a $10 TP or stop loss, ideally it gives us an opportunity for a $5 TP or stop loss. But even with a $10 one, you can see the $10 TP or stop loss would be next to this hourly bullish high and low. So if you remember yesterday, you have a decision to make. If 27.52 satisfies a buy, yes, it is valid. However, $10 below that zone are our order blocks, right? So it's a decision you can choose to make. It's either you double your TP and stop loss, so maybe go for like a $20 TP and $20 stop loss in order to avoid this manipulation at this hourly bullish high, because here, one expectation here is that when price reaches here, yes, you might get some sort of rejection, but if they need to pick up liquidity to bring price back up, then they would go here before going back up. So the question is, are you willing to take that risk and hope that they don't come down here to this hourly bullish high and low order block in order to go up? And in which case, if they do that and you still have a $10 TP and stop loss, you'll be stopped out and price would go back up. Or do you just want to risk avoiding missing the trade? Because on the other hand, they don't have to come back down there. They can just come here, tag you in, and go straight to TP, right? The other probability is that, are you willing to miss out on that trade if it does that way and play it safe? And instead of setting your pending order at 27.52, you set your pending order at 27.43, 27.41 area. So let's say 27.43. Here, your stop loss would be below this 200 EMA. You'd be in the green zone. And here you can even play with a $5 TP and stop loss instead of a $10 TP and stop loss, right? So it's a decision you'd have to make. Personally, I just need to wait and see what price does at 27.52, because price can easily come at 27.52 and close below this area, in which case you wouldn't even be looking for a buy, because the market would have invalidated that particular setup there. For BTC, again, nothing on the hourly. So I think that will be it for today's live session. That's the best thing I like with this rejection entry. It's like you just have to wait until those candles validate. But when they do validate, normally they are good entries. Similar to what we saw here for gold, it's only because this trade did not get tapped in. But this was such a nice sell on gold right here on 27.65. But anyway, unless there are any other, or there are any questions or whatnot, you can tag me in the Discord if there are any questions. But that will be it for today's live session, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. If I do see any setups, I will send them in the Discord. But if not, then we'll just have to wait until the setups validate or show up. But I'll catch you guys